Greetings from the underground and welcome to the apocalypse. So this here is Little Wing 1 coming to you from deep in the heart somewhere in the city. And today we have an incredible subject that I'm dying to get into with you regarding our current events in the world today. If you have a comment, if you have a question, please follow below in the comment section. We are also going to put, my little notes that I put in there every week. And also, if you have, I will always try to comment back to you if you comment to me. Don't forget to subscribe and share if you think somebody could use this, and that would be much appreciated by me. Okay, so let's get into it now. We are now a nation successfully divided. And when I say that, there are lots of different ways that you can divide a city. So let's go through some of those today. So the question is, how are we divided? Here on Little Wing 1, if you're new to my channel, what I do is don't look to me for all of your answers. What I try to use is parables, which are stories that apply to current life, to get you to think for yourself. Too many people have been too complacent to just sit and have people tell them how to think or what to think. They live in sound bites, which, these videos, sometimes I've cut them down pretty short because people's attention spans are that of a goldfish, to where after 2 minutes they're wondering what the point is and they want to get through it. So what I want you to do is I want to try to expand your consciousness just a little bit, tweak your brain just a little bit from what you've been taught and how you've been programmed to think. And I want you to start thinking for yourself. I want you to do your own research. So I'm just going to give you the ideas to be able to kickstart maybe a conversation, and you can have this with other people as well. Communication is something that is not done nowadays. Usually it's more of people screaming at each other when they don't disagree, or the cancel culture says to you, I don't agree with you, I need to go to a safe place, I'm just going to scream at you and insult you and goodbye. That is not communication. Communication is a give and take of people's ideas to try to see where somebody's coming from. And with that, you can respectfully disagree with somebody. Respectfully and cordially disagree. Say, I disagree with you, but that's okay. We can still be friends. So with that, we are going on to the reasons our country has been divided. That's a big one too, with the communication. But let's go down the list. We are a nation in the United States successfully divided. By who? We will get into that as we go. Number 1, we are medically divided. Now with the people that are the pro-shot, the people that are the anti-shot, we are divided. People are screaming, we need to wear masks. People are saying we don't have to wear masks. So that is how we've been divided as well. People saying follow the science, but yet not providing things that follow up with that science if you research on your own. That is number 1. Number 2, politically, right versus left, red versus blue. A lot of times you don't really know. What you don't know is that we've been divided along these lines on purpose. There's a very good saying that I like to quote that says, politics are 2 wings of the same predator bird. This means that it's meant to cause division. It's meant to, and in some cases, they're fighting on the outside, but behind the lines, they're having dinner together. So that is to get you to argue and to hate each other and to be divided. Number 3, racially. Now we're seeing some pretty crazy results of social engineering, critical race theory. It's endless. It's endless how they're trying to divide us by the color of brown that we are as human beings. This at its face is insanity, and it's ridiculous. If you can only see the color of somebody's skin, then there's a problem, because there's a whole human behind that. People are born, and it's not their fault what color melatonin they have or they don't have. So there are people that use this to divide and conquer. They want you to not like, and they want you to hate, and they want you to think that, you know, everybody's against everybody. So that's number 3. Number 4, gender-based. I am amazed of the gender division that we have in this country. The things that have been told to the younger generation is insanity. They are telling them, oh, well, you know, you can post horrible pictures of yourself online, all these narcissistic people having no clothes on, thinking that that's empowering for in some way, shape, or form, and then saying, well, it's not my fault if people jeer at me. It's not my fault if people make fun of me. It's not my fault if somebody has a problem with seeing all of my skin out there for the whole world to see. That is my freedom, and that is helping me to feel better about myself. That is a lie. Just flat out telling you, as a woman, I cannot speak for you men out there, but as a woman, that does not make me feel better about myself. My accomplishments do. And my grandmother, I come from a very long line of strong women. My grandmother drew up plans for fighter planes. My mother was the first woman in her entire state and school district to do the job that she did. She did it so well that the men needed her help. I come from a long line of strong women who are willing to have better character, to be stronger intellectually, and to be competitive. I'm sorry, but debasing yourself is not being competitive, and if you think it is, then you're believing a lie. You will get nothing but heartache from that. So, throughout history, tyrants have used propaganda. How are they dividing us? They're dividing us with propaganda. And hate to keep their servants distrustful of one another. As long as we are fighting each other, we are too busy to fight them or disagree. We are too busy to see who the real enemy is. Today, those that wish to establish the global agenda, which is the one world agenda, use ethnicity, sexuality, politics, income groups, anything else they can possibly gather to keep us seeing each other as the enemy. As long as we're at odds, as long as we're fighting each other, the people with the pitchforks are convincing the people with the torches that they're carrying the wrong thing. I'm going to tell you that the people that are running things above us, the global bankers, the globalists, the people that are in wealth and in charge, they're keeping us fighting so that they can be in control. If they can keep us fighting and at each other's throats, we're not going to look and say, hey, wait a minute. There shouldn't be an equality of power here. We should all be able to decide for ourselves how things go. So just a thought for you. I'm going to be putting up some interesting, over here actually, I'm going to be putting up some interesting graphics for you to read about divide and conquer. This has been going on forever, people. This is not something that's new, okay? This has been going on forever. Humans have been treating other humans horrifically. Did you know, I'm going to probably ruffle some feathers here, but did you know that slavery has been a thing since the beginning? Since the very beginning of mankind. And every race has been enslaved at one time or another. Doesn't matter skin color. Humans have been treating humans horrifically throughout history. We need to stop doing that. This conversation will hopefully get you to think about how you're being divided, why you're being divided, and think of yourself and think of how many things that you look at on a daily basis. What triggers you? What makes you angry? Do you retreat? Do you find a safe space to run to? Or do you have a conversation of where that person's coming from so that you can get some type of thought pattern? Do you cancel other people because you give them a label and you cut them off? I'm just asking these questions because there are people that are unable to have their freedom of speech even right now. They're being deplatformed, they're being canceled, they're being cut off. That's called censorship. And that's not what this country was based on. Okay, let's get into the U.S. Let's get into, in particular, our country here. The U.S. is a problem for the globalist agenda because it has been established on freedom and independence. Therefore, it must be divided, it must be neutralized, medicated, and brought down. And it is not mentioned in the revelation of the Bible. Did you know that? For probably one or two reasons. Probably, maybe, I'm not an expert and I don't have all the answers. But I'm thinking that maybe the U.S. has been brought down and it's not a superpower anymore. That's what I'm thinking. We are allowing a lot of stuff to happen here that will divide us. Now, Jesus talked about this in a subject, and I think it applies to where we are now. I'm going to put it down below, and I'm going to put it up here so that you can follow along as well. And it is in Matthew 12, 24 through 25. You can follow along if you have a Bible. If you don't have a Bible, that's totally fine. If you don't know anything about the Bible, that's awesome, and I'm glad you're here. So just follow along with us. And what Jesus has said about it is this. Now, when the Pharisees, those are the religious people were listening to him, they said, "This fellow does not cast out demons except for by Beelzebub." And Beelzebub was the devil. Okay, that was another word for that. Prince of the Lord of the Flies, or the devil. Okay, it says the ruler of the demons. Now that's a principality, an evil principality. It says, "But Jesus knew their thoughts and said to them this." Now listen to this. This is very important. This is a quote for us to remember. It says, he said, "Every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself will not stand." Now, that can apply to our country very well. If we're so busy fighting and we're so busy butting heads, we have enemies that are watching this whole thing happen. We have sharks that are circling the waters, waiting for us to attack and devour ourselves so that they can come in and invade us. America is a very big target for a lot of people, and you need to remember that. As long as we're fighting, we're not paying attention to what's going on. There are people in government that are stoking the fires. If you watch the news at all, they're constantly getting people roused up. And the reason why is because that makes for good television. If you're not upset and you're not anxiety ridden, then you're not going to watch the news. Who cares about it? If you're having a good time and you're out living life, that's not important to you. That's a downer. But if you're having anxiety and you're stuck quarantined in your house and you're glued to that TV, they're keeping you a slave through fear and anxiety. Remember that. Turn off your TV. Go outside. I go outside every day and spend time outside with my dogs. I sit outside because I think it's important to be outside at some point in time, not inside all the time, sequestered in your house. Okay, so the questions we need to ask are, number one, what divides you? What divides you? What divides you from other people? And I'm going to talk to you specifically, not just in general, not just our country, but you. Because I think that this is important for one of us to answer. Do ideas divide you? If somebody has a different idea from you, a family member, a friend, is this going to make you not hang out with them anymore? Is this going to make you disown them, discard them, not be their friend because they have different ideas? That's ridiculous. If you surround yourself constantly with people that are agreeing with you, what a shallow life that's going to be for you. It's important to have varying ideas and cultures and everything else. What divides you? Does color divide you? I know a lot of people who are really in prison to this. They are really all about this whole, standing up thing for a certain color or for a cause. You have to know that people that are at the head of these causes are gaining a lot of wealth by doing this. They're getting paid for doing this. They're buying homes all over the country for doing this. Meanwhile, you're out in the street and you're fighting each other. Is that worth it? I mean, it's worth it for people to be created equal, and for people to be treated equally. True. It's good to stand up if somebody's being abused. It's good to stand up for that, but not at the cost of hating everyone that is a certain color and throwing everybody into the same mold and lumping everyone together. I'm sorry, but this color of this paper here, I will never be as white as this paper. If I was, I would be dead. I will never be as black as this lampshade. I will never be that color. You will never be as black as night can be, or you would be the same thing, dead. We are all a mix of brown. So remember that. It's not a lot that separates us, and we all bleed the same red. Just for you to know that people are individuals. See them as individuals, not as a group. Because everybody has different thoughts and different feelings. Okay? My children are not white. And my husband, their father, my ex-husband, their father, was darker than most dark people that I know. That was not a factor. That is not a factor in me loving my children, because they're not white. I love them anyway. And so you need to have that mentality, especially as a believer in Jesus, that God made people different colors for a reason, to give us variety. What did he do with nature? What did he do with the different colors of animals? What did he do with the different colors of flowers? He made them all different colors to give us pleasure, not for us to use that as an excuse to kill each other and fight and beat each other over the head with that and exclude each other. Let me tell you something. Racial inequity runs both ways. It's not just one way. The definition of it is not including somebody because of how they look. And that runs all different ways. Remember that. Okay, last one is gender. What divides you? Gender? Are you angry with men because of how you've been treated? Are you angry with your father because of how he treated you, and now you just hate all men and you think that they should be abolished and that they should serve women? Question. Do you hate all women because you were treated bad by your mother or a girlfriend or a wife or somebody that hurts you? That runs both ways. Why are we divided over gender? There are plenty of men that I adore and I appreciate and I respect. And I was an abuse victim. So just saying, if you hate all women because you've been treated badly by a woman, not all women are the same. Not all men are the same. That goes back to the thing we talked about before, about lumping everybody together in one group and giving a sweep of judgment. That's judgment over an entire group of people. See people as an individual, because that's how you were made. You were made an individual with all of your flaws, with your color of your skin, with your hair color, with your freckles, with all of your problems and all of your flaws. You were made an individual. You have individual thoughts. You have individual likes. You have individual dislikes. And that's what makes you special. You're in the image of God. That's what makes humans special. They are in the image of God. There are forces that are trying to destroy that. Know that. So, be blessed in that and know that you are important the way you are. You are special. You have a purpose. God has a plan for your life. You are not by yourself. He has a plan for your life. And if you don't think so, ask him. Ask him into your heart. And ask him, I don't believe you, God. You need to show me that you're there. And he will. That's what he did for me. So, with that, may the Lord bless you. May the Lord keep you. and I will see you next time. This is Little Wing 1 signing out. Bye-bye.